Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Prince Andrew's journey from national heartthrob and Falklands War hero to a disgraced figure has been laid bare by those who knew him. 4 decades ago, he was Britain's favourite male royal, and his fame only grew when he served as a Navy helicopter pilot during the 1982 Falklands War. Today, Andrew, 64, has become a pantomime figure, and his reputation has never recovered since his catastrophic 2019 Newsnight interview. In The Sun, insiders paint 2 conflicting pictures of Andrew. One friend described him as a kind and devoted family man who was fiercely loyal to his friends. They recalled how they had seen him moved by the plight of someone and then immediately go around his wealthy friends and raise £1 million to help. This same loyalty, Andrew has argued, is what led him to stand by Jeffrey Epstein even after the disgraced financier's conviction. It was his loyalty to Jeffrey Epstein, the Duke would argue, that got him into this mess, one insider said. However, others who worked with Andrew describe him very differently. One former royal aide claimed that Andrew's sense of entitlement and abrasive personality earned him the nickname Air Miles Andy for his frequent overseas trips at the taxpayer's expense. Ryan Parry, an undercover reporter at Buckingham Palace in 2003, recalled an incident where Andrew reportedly responded to a footman who woke him by saying, "Good morning, Your Royal Highness," with a sharp F off. Another insider recounted Andrew telling a royal aide to F off out of my office and F off out of my life. His diplomatic conduct also raised eyebrows. Simon Wilson, Britain's former deputy head of mission in Bahrain, referred to Andrew as HBH, His Buffoon Highness, due to his tendency to disregard advice and his childish obsession with doing exactly the opposite of what had been agreed. Wilson added, he appeared to regard himself as an expert in every matter. Colleagues put this down to an inferiority complex about being mentally challenged. A former senior diplomat in Italy, Sir Ivor Roberts, remembered Andrew's dismissive attitude towards people, recalling a moment when the prince met a representative from a popular fashion house and bluntly told her, "Never heard of you." He also noted that Andrew was full of his own self-importance and there was a lot of standing on ceremony. Despite the widespread criticism, Andrew still has defenders. One friend stated, "I have never heard him say anything negative about his brother or indeed any member of his family. It's just not something he would do." Yet others within the royal household, while supportive of Queen Elizabeth's continued loyalty to her son, found it frustrating that Andrew wasn't reined in earlier. Some found it frustrating that his mother, Queen Elizabeth, was for so long always willing to give him a second chance, one source said. Reflecting on his downfall, an aide remarked, "He painted an easy target on his back and for the most part didn't even realize it, or if he did, he didn't care. He grew up in a different era and then found himself suddenly helpless when judged by the standards of the 21st century." The aide continued, "He had the biggest part to play in his own downfall, obviously, but you have to ask whether anyone around him over all those years should have taken him aside and told him to moderate his behavior." Summing up, Andrew's current standing PR expert Nick Eade stated bluntly, there is no way back for him. Just live a quiet life. Prince Harry may have a long road to reconciliation, with royal reporter Charlotte Griffiths suggesting he needs to apologise to about 40 people before things can return to a civil footing. Speaking on the Palace Confidential podcast, Charlotte listed some key figures, starting with obvious ones like Queen Camilla and his father, King Charles. However, Charlotte also mentioned some lesser-known names, including Mark Dyer, a former Welsh Guards officer who has been like a second father to both Harry and William. Mark Dyer is Harry's closest friend, really, Charlotte explained. He's a little bit older than Harry, and he's like a sort of mentor, godfather, father figure in his life, and he's also a sensible army man. Dyer, described as fierce but fair, is one of the few royal insiders who has managed to remain close to Harry while also maintaining the trust of both the King and Prince William. Charlotte believes Dyer could be the perfect person to talk sense into Harry and help ease tensions between the estranged brothers. 2 more pivotal figures in any potential reconciliation would be the Van Straubenzee brothers, Tom and Charlie. Tom is a close friend of Prince William and was one of the first to notice the dramatic change in Harry's priorities from party-loving royal to socially conscious woke warrior. Meanwhile, Charlie, who has close ties to Harry, had the Duke serve as his best man at his wedding. Charlie's wife, Daisy Jenks, is one of the few people within royal circles who managed to form a real friendship with Meghan. According to Charlotte, the Van Straubenzee brothers could be the ideal mediators. Charlie's wife is one of the few people that Meghan is friends with in the UK and one of the very few women that she really kept in touch with, Charlotte said. I just think those Van Straubenzee boys could really be the mediators. They've got one each, those warring brothers, and they could be brought together. They used to hang out the whole time and be a real squad. A former royal aide who once worked for Prince Andrew has partly blamed the Duke's decline on others who should shoulder some of the blame, in remarks that seem to serve as a warning to Prince Harry. Speaking to The Sun's Fabulous magazine, the unnamed aide suggested that other heirs to the throne, including Harry and the people advising them, should take lessons from Andrew's downfall. The aide remarked that Prince Andrew grew up in a different era and now finds himself helpless when judged by standards of the 21st century, while acknowledging that Andrew was responsible for the biggest part of his own troubles. They questioned whether those around him should have stepped in to guide him towards moderating his behavior. The source reflected that Andrew likely wouldn't have listened to such advice, but emphasized that Harry should be cautious not to make the same mistakes. Referring to the title of Harry's memoir, Spare, the aide said, "There's a lesson for all spares to the heir in this and the people who advise them." In defending Andrew, the former aide noted that he had faced relentless criticism and admitted that while much of it was justified, some of it wasn't. They described Andrew as having become a pantomime figure and pointed out that his upbringing as a son of the Queen, who was lauded and applauded for years, likely gave him an inflated sense of invincibility. The aide concluded that dealing with royals like Andrew and Harry involves a difficult balance. While those around them can try to keep them on the straight and narrow, the royals are ultimately adults, often bloody, obstinate ones. Our royal insider, Deep Crown, commented, yes, Prince Harry should take note of recent history. Andrew, you see, was quite safe under the unwavering shield of her late Majesty's protection. Charles, however, is not as inclined to extend that same courtesy to his brother. While Harry still benefits from a father's sense of duty, once William ascends, I dare say he will find a far less sympathetic ear. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Belgian Crown Princess Elizabeth has officially begun her studies at Harvard University in Boston, according to an announcement from the Royal Palace. She is pursuing a 2-year master's degree in public policy at the prestigious institution, which is known for its top-ranking Kennedy School. This latest academic venture follows Elizabeth's bachelor's degree in history and politics from Oxford University. Elizabeth continues a royal family tradition of studying abroad. Her cousin, Prince Joachim, also attended Harvard, obtaining a degree in business administration, while her father, King Philippe, studied political science at Stanford University. People have been advised to take a closer look at their change after a rare £1 coin featuring King Charles' effigy turned out to be worth 600 times its face value. Diane Barth, a 62-year-old post office worker in Cumbria, hit the jackpot when she discovered the coin, which was made entirely of brass instead of the usual two-tone nickel composition. The first coins featuring King Charles were released in 2022 after Queen Elizabeth II's passing, and all coins bearing her image remain in circulation. Diane noticed something unusual when staff pointed out that one of the £1 coins in a delivery appeared to be completely gold. The Royal Mint confirmed the coin was a result of a rare minting error, making it a potential collector's dream. Diane, thrilled with the find, said it was the most exciting discovery in her 2-decade career handling cash. After searching online and finding no other coin like it, she realized it could be worth a significant amount. With its rarity confirmed, the coin is valued at approximately £600, turning a simple mistake into a golden opportunity. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice. Leave us a review or some stars if you're enjoying the show. Don't forget we have merch and commercial-free options available in the show notes or episode notes. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue and good times.